This remarkable story took place in the small village of Nimatund in India. The village was deep in elephant territory, and it was not uncommon to encounter these animals. But one day the residents saw a very strange sight. A female elephant stood in the middle of the road. She made a lot of noise and waved her trunk as if to get people's attention. She swatted at people trying to pass her and stomped on the ground in frustration. The villagers had never seen anything like this. They had to get to the bottom of this. As they got closer, they noticed something strange. The elephant had tears in his eyes, and the wet tracks on his face showed that he had been crying for a while. The elephant was clearly in emotional distress, but no one knew why or how they could help. Luckily, the elephant took charge. After a small crowd gathered, she waved her trunk as if inviting people to follow her. She led them into the wilderness, turning around every few minutes to check if the humans were still following her. Luckily, they did. They were too interested in what was troubling this poor elephant to go about their daily lives. Soon the elephant led them to a clearing with a large well that supplied water to the area. Normally it had a hatch at the top, but it was missing now. The elephant stood next to the fountain and looked down. What the villagers saw next shocked them. They were almost as dismayed as the mother elephant herself. In the hole, deep underground, was a baby elephant. It was clearly the elephant's calf. The baby must have fallen in and become trapped. Luckily, the water was shallow, and the little elephant was able to keep his trunk above the water so he could breathe. But without human help, he would surely die down there. The villagers reacted quickly and alerted experienced helpers. A few minutes later, the local veterinarian and his team were on site. They assessed the situation and realized that they could not save the elephant with human strength alone. They needed an excavator to dig a canal and allow the baby to escape. But then something worrying happened. A big storm was coming. It threatened to hamper rescue efforts. The rain could dangerously raise the water level in the well. Now every second counted. If the water level rose by just a few centimeters, the elephant would be unable to breathe and would eventually drown. The men couldn't allow that. They got to work as quickly as possible. They dug by hand and with makeshift tools until the excavator finally arrived. However, progress was slow, and as they worked tirelessly, they heard the rumble of thunder. Time was running out. The mother elephant paced nervously all the time and kept an eye on her calf. Her tension was clearly visible, but it seemed like she trusted people. As the team worked, a veterinarian remotely examined the calf for injuries. He noted that it had suffered several cuts and abrasions on its body as a result of the fall, and was concerned that these could become infected. The head was particularly affected. He carefully dripped an antiseptic agent onto the animal's head from above, although it was undoubtedly burning. The baby elephant waved its trunk. It seemed to have realized that the man only wanted to help him. As the excavator dug, the vibrations caused several bricks to come loose from the top of the well. They fell into the well. The rescuers held their breath. They feared that the bricks had hit and injured the calf. But to their surprise, the clever animal moved deftly, dodging the bricks. To avoid further injury, the workers did their best to remove all the loose bricks. Meanwhile, it was pouring with rain, and the heaviest rain in a long time began. But that only motivated the rescuers even more. The dry ground turned into mud that stuck to their shoes and the excavator. If the machine stopped working, the game would be over. They continued to dig tirelessly. After an hour of digging, they finally created a channel that led to the bottom of the well. Now, all that was left was to break the brick wall of the well, so that the baby elephant could run free. The excavator retreated, and rescuers began hitting the well. They hammered away the bricks piece by piece. It took a lot of effort, but eventually large cracks became visible in the well. The mother elephant, sensing her calves' impending release, came down the embankment and tried to help. She pressed her body against the wall, trying to break it open. Suddenly the wall fell away with a huge crash, revealing her baby. The calf was finally freed, but it wasn't out of the woods yet. His mother was able to climb the wet and slippery slope with relative ease, but the calf, with its small legs, struggled to get out of the newly dug hole in the ground. The heavy rain and mud made it even more difficult. It took the combined effort of 5 strong rescuers to push him up and back onto the flat land. The baby elephant ran straight to its mother. Then finally the moment came that everyone had been eagerly waiting for. The mother hugged her baby with her trunk and gave loud cheers. Mother and son were finally reunited. Her happiness was obvious. The rescuers cheered and celebrated as they saw the mother and son turn and slowly walk out into the wilderness. But before they completely disappeared, the mother turned around and looked each of the people in the eyes, as if she wanted to thank them. If it hadn't rained, I'm sure they would have seen tears. This video was also tearful. A tiger begs a soldier for help. When he realizes the reason, he is speechless. Click here to get the full story.